Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour, Week 16 Fantasy Football Semifinal Week. We're going to get you ready with the usual streamer picks, start-sit action here, some rankings review, and then, of course, our news and injury notes. Get to it right after this.
The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me as usual over here, AJ Applegarth, and over here, Corey Pieper. Hey, I got that right today. I pointed the right direction.
Brother.
I feel like every other week I messed it up.
You're working on it. Good job.
Yeah, man. Progress, life goals.
Just as the season gets done. We dial on the pointing sides.
Yeah.
When we start back up baseball, I'll forget all of this. I'll be like, I'll point to myself. No.
I'm Joe Bond.
All right. So if you are here, we are assuming that you have made it to your fantasy semifinals, and congrats on that. If you're not in fantasy semifinals and you're just watching us anyway, we love you.
Thank you for the support.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think let's just jump into things here. We'll chat along the way. And AJ, you ready to go?
Always ready to go.
All right. Let's do our start with our streamers of the week with your quarterback.
Oh yeah. My quarterback this week is going to be Mr. Bryce Young. Definitely a low rostership for Bryce this coming into this week. He's only at 19%. He's going up against Tampa. It's a home game for Carolina. ECR's got him as QB 21. Again, okay, pretty far down. Our projection for him is 15.9 points, but the opponent's points against is 20.91. So there's upside to be had with Young. And, Carolina is fighting for this division. They're probably going to end up with it. Tampa seems to have fallen off pretty hard. Baker's been pretty miserable for most of the past weeks. But Tampa is third in the points against there. So I think they can definitely give up some points to Bryce here. They've given up over 300 yards 3 of the last 5 weeks. And then over 270 or higher in 2 other weeks. So touchdowns are there. Tampa's just not the same team that they were. So I think this is a solid matchup.
Yeah, he was definitely we were talking before the show trying to guess who you would pick. And of course I put myself in the Discord. And you picked almost everybody except for this one. I don't even think you saw it. But it was, I kind of figured, but it was kind of funny. Like all the rest of them were the ones that I wrote down in Discord for you, just in case, because I knew you were kind of running behind. Bryce Young was kind of my secondary pick for this, and Corey and I both picked Tyler Shuck as the guy that we would have streamed, just because going against the Jets is around the same type of matchup as far as points allowed and all that kind of stuff. But Shucks has been kind of on a roll. To where Bryce Young, man, has these games where you're just like, what happened? And like, it just doesn't work. So my go-to would be Shuck, but Bryce Young's a good secondary choice there for me.
Yeah. The part about Bryce Young that I liked last week was we finally saw him use the legs. Like he can do that. He just chooses not to a lot of times. Last week ran for the 49 yards because he's not. Typically, he doesn't get the volume passing the ball because they want to run it. So you're going to get 20 to 25 pass attempts. But if he can add in 5 to 10 carries and chuck in another 4 or 5 points that way, like that's where Bryce Young takes the next step to being like viable weekly top 15 quarterback. And we just got to see it more from him.
Yeah. And then, the other kind of knock that I'm looking at with Bryce is Carolina did just play New Orleans in Week 10. He had a putrid game. I'm sorry. Yeah, they didn't play. They didn't play Tampa yet. They're playing Tampa the first time this week. You mentioned New Orleans, so that was throwing me off. But yeah, he had a putrid game against New Orleans. I was trying to go to see how he did against the division games. Kind of half and half, but week 11.
That's been kind of his season is half and half. Like he's had some really good games, some really bad games, and kind of not a lot in between, honestly.
Yeah. It's either like 3 touchdowns or 1. So not in between there or 0 and interceptions instead, which obviously we don't like. But I just think overall it's a real solid matchup for him. I do like Shuck too. I really wanted to double down on JJ going against yet another terrible NFC East foe, but can't pick the same guy week after week. Put it that way.
I mean, if it works, it works, man. JJ was another guy that I would have gone after, but yeah. I mean, I will say, like, it's not always pretty. It's just like he's just got the most phenomenal playoff matchups known for like any quarterback, and it's going to be weird. Like we're going to be like, oh, JJ McCarthy was a league winner, but nobody used him, by the way, because he was so terrible all year long.
Injured for the majority of the year. And when he wasn't,
and he was so bad when he was active, other than like week 1, really. I mean, it's just it's so hard to trust, even though these matchups are just so good. But all right. Well, so let's play our little start sit game that we did last week a little bit for you real quick here. So you're picking Bryce Young. So would you take Bryce Young
or the other person in that game, Baker Mayfield?
I was just going to say that. Yep.
That's the one.
Yeah. Like I said, Baker overall has been a better season, but he just hasn't been the same, the past few weeks. He was okay last week, but before that, he was pretty bad. Only having 1 touchdown, per game. I'm going to go Bryce Young on this one. The kicker here is in week 12 at the Rams, Baker was absolute trash, 41 yards. And they're a better points against opponent than Carolina. So I think he can definitely fall off again. So
one more quick. Last week's golden boy, but Trevor Lawrence, but against the Denver Broncos defense this week.
Oof. Trevor was he was absurd last week. I feel like I might lean Trevor on that one just because of the role he's been on. 12 touchdowns in the last 4 games.
Great 6 of them
passing touchdowns. Well, 12 in the past 4 games throwing plus 1 rushing last week. Wow. I would go Trevor on that one, but he's up at 65% in leagues right now, so might be a little harder to get him. Well, it will be harder to get.
I don't think he's out there.
But it might be. I mean,
competitive. Yeah. So all right, let's jump over here to your running back.
All right, so running back, kind of not necessarily deep dive here, but I'm going with Michael Carter. He is set to take over the lead role for Arizona. They are going up against Atlanta this week, who's given up 20.82 points against running back position. Carter's sitting at 31%. Our projection is 10 points even, and he's showing as running back 27. So I'm interested to see what he does now that he's taken over the full reins. He had 14 carries last week for 56 yards, also had 4 receptions for 38. So borderline, almost 100 scrimmage yards, and that's against the Houston defense that's been phenomenal this year.
Right.
So Atlanta, obviously, a much easier opponent for Carter, and I mean they've been so solid with Brissett as well. So I think that he can get in there and open up the pass game for them as well.
This was the guy that I wrote down, obviously, with Michael Carter. My one hesitation, my one kind of worry with Michael Carter is that this Cardinals backfield with Carter, DeMarcado, and Bam Knight. Now he's out on the IR, so done for the season. But when those three have been the guys, because the two starters, Benson and what's his name? Connor are out, right?
Yeah.
With those three, it's just been sort of like a weird rotation of like, well, who is it going to be this week? Like, let's just spin the wheel and like whoever lands on, like this is going to be the lead back this week. I would have put a lot of money down that if Bam Knight had gotten hurt last week, that it would have been DeMarcado to get the lead role. It has been DeMarcado many times already.
Yeah.
Michael Carter always takes the back seat to one of those guys, it feels like. So my gut tells me like don't trust this. Even though we saw 14 carries last week. I mean, like the first week, right? We all thought it was gonna be DeMarcado, right? And then it ended up being Bam Knight. And we're like, what the hell?
Yeah. Where did this come from?
And then like a week later, it was DeMarcado. And you're like, well, now I have no idea. And then it's just been this rotation forever. And the only reason why it's been somewhat predictable is because DeMarcado or Bam Knight has been hurt. And so you just kind of know who is going to be the lead guy. But DeMarcado is now another week removed from the injury, should be a little bit more rested and ready to go. Maybe he takes more of the workload than we're expecting here. I don't know, man. Like, I think Carter's got to have to be the guy if you had to pick one of these guys to play because of what we saw last week. I don't feel great about it.
No, I don't love it. I mean, the running back was tough to pick, as it seems like it is every week, just because of the dearth of injuries in these lower percentage owned rostered, players. I don't love Carter either, but I mean, he's sitting at running back 27 for ECR.
I don't hate it.
So, I mean, he's fringe,
And look, I'll say this, right? I'll say this about Carter, and then I'm going to throw out one other thing, one other guy. Carter, at the very least, is going to be involved in the passing game, right? And so, like, usually we get like 10, 12 carries for like the main back. So even if it is DeMarcado's role, like, all right, this team wants to pass. They're passing the ball 45, 50 times a game. So Michael Carter is their passing back. And so he's going to see 5-6 targets typically, right? The one guy who probably flying under the radar a little bit to everybody, and it may not even matter because Kamara might get activated. We don't know, but Audric Estime, if Kamara does not get activated, Devin Neal's hurt and out for this week already. Estime gets the Jets. I mean, that's a desperation play. It's a desperation play, but hey,
I don't know.
It's
I think I'd rather lose my matchup than go down with the Saints running back in my lineup.
Hey, you know what? We would have said that a few weeks ago, right? But Devin Neal all of a sudden became like.
He was good. Like, it's Audric Estime good. They also could give the ball to Evan Hall. We could get Taysom Hill. Like, there's just so many ways that
we
can go
didn't get Taysom Hill with Devin Neal. I don't really think we're going to get Taysom Hill with Estime or Evan Hall. For some odd reason, the Saints decided to start running the ball more when Kamara went out. So
now the other running back that I was debating on here too, and again, this is another deep dive at 6% rostership, and that's I guess Jawhar Jordan from Houston. I mean, he's going up against Vegas, who is not even an NFL team anymore. They might as well just go back down to like Division 3, FCS or whatever it is. I feel like JMU could beat this team.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. James Madison could beat this team handily. But yeah, I mean, he had a real nice week last week. Going 15 for 101, and then two receptions for 17. Not anything special there, but the 101 yards is awesome, and that was against Arizona, who gives up a lot of points against running backs. Vegas is slightly less points, but he'd be another like deep dive.
He needs Woody Marks to get play. He needs Woody Marks to not play. And Woody Marks did not practice today.
Yeah.
But the coaching staff and everybody is already saying like he should be fine. But that's just something you're going to have to monitor. Jordan is absolutely somebody who is a viable play, especially mainly because of the team they're playing. But it's an interesting one. And I don't know if Corey, you want to ask it. I don't know if you see what I have highlighted on the sheet if you have it up. The start sit the either or question.
I don't see what you're talking about. You ask it.
All right. So Michael Carter or Kenneth Walker. So Kenneth Walker gets the Rams.
Just toying with me and Corey here, aren't you?
I mean, this is not. I've had Kenneth Walker benched on the one team I have him for half the season now, and I was tempted to drop him today just for somebody else, but I didn't.
I mean, he destroyed the Rams the last time they played in Week 11. 16 for 67, a touchdown, 3 for 44. That's almost that's like his second best game of the season, actually, third best. Sorry, that's pretty telling on how bad Walker has been for managers this year. I don't know if he can repeat it, honestly. I'll tell you, I would rather have a different Kenneth, and that would be Kenneth Gainwell. Going up against Detroit. Still another very tough matchup.
All three of them are back to back in my rankings. So not great.
I mean, it's rough, but Gainwell is so involved in the pass game that he gives you the value there. Not a ton of yardage, but he's getting the catches. So in even in half PPR, that's nice. But I feel like maybe I'd ride the Carter wave ahead of Walker.
That's what I was going to say too.
I feel you, man. I think I
go with Michael Carter. Of those three, I think he has the most assured workload, which is disgusting with where we expected out of Kenneth Walker. But I think he's got the most assured workload. And like AJ said, like you can PPR, I'd probably play Kenneth. Like if you're playing full PPR, I'd play Kenneth Gainwell too. Like, there's just so much.
Oh, absolutely.
So many passes thrown to him. In a half PPR, I'd probably play Michael Carter. And someone who has a ton of Kenneth Walker, like I just don't want to play him anywhere. I'm looking for ways to not get him in the lineup. It is terrible every week.
Yep.
I have to choose between him and an injured Kamara in my one semifinal game. Not looking forward to it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I probably have someone else. I'm just blanking on it right now.
Let's go over to receiver here.
All right, here we go. I'm going with Jayden Reed. Green Bay's at Chicago. This is going to be a really hard fought game, for jockeying for position in the division. I still think that this division is going to send 3 teams to the playoffs regardless. And Reed's been a dependable receiver in his career with Jordan Love. That said, he's more of the slot guy in their 3 receiver set. So the playing time does hurt his potential. But ECR's got him at wide receiver 25. Our fantasy 6-pack projection has him at 10 points even as well. His rostership's 47, so he's like right under our cut line there. But Chicago gives up 29.49 points to the receiving position, which is a very, very juicy matchup to take in. And, looking at what Reed's done in the past 2 games since he's been back, one of them against Chicago 2 weeks ago in his first game back, he went 4 for 31. Okay, not anything special, but he did catch all of his targets. Last week, he caught 5 of 6 targets, 55 yards. He also had 22 rushing yards against Chicago. I think that he's just getting worked back in, and I think this could be a week that Green Bay unleashes him. So I like his upside. The floor is definitely lower, but I think the ceiling is also higher.
Yeah, the reason to like Reed more right this week than all the other weeks so far is Christian Watson is out. I mean, he hasn't been officially ruled out, right?
He actually said he's going to play.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, you can. I can see if I can find it. You keep talking, but I believe he said that he's planning to play in that game with his chest injury here. We'll see if I can find it. Put it in the private chat.
Should be good. I mean, that would be then that would change things for me. I'm not sure I would have. So I have Reed ranked fairly high because I was not expecting Watson to suit up.
Should be good. We're at the point of the season where you've got to fight through some stuff, so should be good to go, is what he said.
That's an interesting one. I mean,
he's not exactly a beacon of playing through injury in his career. As someone who watches,
no. Look, I'll say this, right?
Yeah.
So, and I said this in the usage article that goes out on Fantasy Six Pack on Tuesdays. Is Watson's out, right? Dobbs' role doesn't change. He's the opposite side of Watson, right? In the 2 receiver sets. Reed plays, as AJ mentioned, in the 3 receiver sets. He plays his slot role, which is why you always see his snaps lower than both of those guys or whoever the other outside receivers are, right? He plays the slot. But when he's on the field, he gets peppered with targets. Like that's the thing. So he gets more targets per route than anybody else on the team. And honestly, I think he's their best playmaker receiver. When he's got the ball in his hands, Watson's that deep threat guy, so he has these like blow up games. Dobbs disappears, as we've seen many, many times. Reed will too, sometimes because that's just the role he plays. Like there's kind of nothing for him because he plays the slot role. They don't play a lot of 3 receiver sets because they have a big lead or whatever it is. I expected them to. Because the outside role was going to be a little bit of a rotation between Dontavian Wicks and Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
That Reed would see a bit more target share go his way when they run 3 receiver sets. But, man, if Watson's out there, I don't know. Maybe I might have to rethink things. That will be interesting. Otherwise, Reed is absolutely the streamer play for me, and I'm shocked that his rostership isn't higher at this point.
I grabbed him a couple weeks ago before he even came off IR, just to be like, okay, well, this is kind of an emergency stopgap if I need it. But the targets are definitely there. Golden.
I did so in Scott Fish and forgot to play him last week and kicked myself for it. Him and I forgot to swap back in Goddard for Gesicki at the last second, and
I did start Gesicki, and that,
I 100%
out, but
100% would have made the semifinals had I played Gesicki or Goddard over Gesicki. So
Goddard was
once I saw the single-digit temperatures in Cincinnati, I was like, I'm out of this game, and I forgot that I had Gesicki in that lineup and didn't switch him out. So. That's cool. Congrats to whoever the 500th team is, because they shouldn't be, or the 500th team. Yeah, they shouldn't be there. Should be You're welcome. All right, over to the aforementioned tight ends.
Yes. So I have apparently been deemed the tight end whisperer by my co-host here, Corey, and I can't disagree with it because I have taken over Joe's love for the tight end and made it my own. 2 weeks straight now. I've had, let me see, 2 weeks ago it was Parkinson, I believe. Last week was Dalton Schultz. He had a phenomenal game. The week before that was Brenton Strange. Yeah, that was bad. But we'll go with the last two. Recency bias here.
We're going to stop there.
Yeah. And never mind. But yeah, I mean, I'm going back to the well here and going with Parkinson again. He's at Seattle, which is typically a tough place to play. It's a solid defense this year. ECR's got him at tight end 7. His rostership's only 26% still, which blows my effing mind. Our projection's only 7.6, and these projections are all half PPR. But Seattle's points against tight end is up at 12.34 points. And I mean, Parkinson has just been phenomenal. I mean, it's so hard to not want to root for this guy and just not watch him go. He's like Higbee 2.0. I mean, he's better than Higbee, I feel like, right now. Again, he's averaging a touchdown, at least one touchdown every week since week 9. And that includes the week 11 game against Seattle, where he only had 2 receptions on 2 targets and 14 yards, but one of them was a touchdown. So, he started, kind of saving you with the touchdown. So he is touchdown dependent, but he's getting the touchdown. So you can depend on him getting in the end zone.
Yeah, and the big thing now is this week is Davante Adams is likely out there. They're saying he's saying he might play and he's saying all the right things, but I don't know. I don't believe it, man. When I saw him pull up in that last game, that looked really bad. That didn't look like he just kind of tweaked it. Dude, he fell to the ground. I mean, that looked really bad. I pulled my hamstring many, many times playing sports. That one looked rough. And he's on the older side for players in the NFL. He's not going to recover like these 24-year-olds who can pull a hamstring and be like, yeah, I'm fine the next day. He's 10 years older than that almost, right? So not going to happen. So if Adams is out, Parkinson, everybody wants to talk about Tutu Atwell. We talked about Tutu Atwell on the waiver show, or there's Whittington or even Mumfield. I've heard those guys are whatever, right? Parkinson's going to be the guy who I think gets the biggest boost here, and he's already been good, and he's got the chemistry and the confidence of Matthew Stafford. Absolutely, Colby Parkinson is the guy, and 26% rostered. I mean, look, some of these roster percentages at this point are because there's only 4 teams left in those leagues, so some of this is because of the time of the year it is. But hey, it could be that he's out there.
I mean, it's
also a revenge game for Colby Parkinson, former Seattle Seahawks. So
sure,
which the big thing, as you mentioned, with Adams was that red zone end zone guy. I mean, he's had 3 touchdowns in week 7 against Jacksonville.
Well, the one thing,
2 in week 9, 1 in 10 and 11, 2 in 12 and 13. So he's just been get slammed with touchdowns. He's got 14 on the year. I heard those have to go somewhere.
I heard somewhere I was listening to the Fantasy Life. I think I was listening to the Fantasy Life show on SiriusXM, and they were talking about how the coaching staff was thinking maybe they'll just bring him in for the goal line work, the red zone work or whatever, just get him the end zone looks. And it's but what if they don't get there? Well, then what? So that's tough, man. Even if Adams suits up, I don't know. It'd be really hard to sit in a Davante Adams because of how good he's been. But when you really look at his like body of work this year, it's been predominantly touchdowns.
Yeah.
And it's been all those like red zone looks too, like just back in the end zone. He's just, jumping up and catching over top of people. So if that could save his week because that's kind of been a thing he's been doing all year, but that's really hard to trust if he's only going to be on the field for what, like 15% of the snaps. Like that's hard.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to play at all.
I don't either, but
again, he's already
back to Parkinson.
I don't see
slam dunk pick here for me too. I like this one. Even if Adams does play, I think this was the one to pick.
It's still worthwhile.
Yep.
All right.
Let's get your big D of the week.
Drop my D on y'all.
A real sound effect for that. Oh my God! Don't say
that. We do.
No.
What did you do? What did I miss?
You don't.
We're not getting any sound effects.
No, I mean not on that.
I could come up with some good ones.
I said we should come up with like a sound effect, like an ESPN type thing where like big D of the week or whatever, like
I mean I could do the voiceover,
but not what you just said.
No, I'm thinking more of like the old Wile E. Coyote anvil drop sound.
Maybe.
That's a good one. Corey, do you even know who Wile E. Coyote is?
Oh my God.
He chases the Roadrunner. That one I got.
Okay.
That one I got. Yep.
Good. If you didn't know that, I really would just be done with the show right today. Like, cannot do it.
Good thing you're almost done with your segment.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. I can leave. But yeah, my big D for the week is coming straight from Bourbon Street, and that is the Nollan Saints against the New York Jets, as Joe has alluded to in multiple positions today. ECR's got them as defense number 5. They're right under our cut line here, 49%. Jets are giving up 8.29 points to the position. Now, the kicker here is that the Saints defense hasn't really scored a ton of points the past few weeks. They've been kind of mediocre competition. Carolina, Tampa Bay, middle of the pack, even against Miami, who's 10th against, they only had 7 points, but they 4 sacks. So the nice thing with the Jets is that they give up a ton of sacks. They had 9 the past 2 weeks. They had another 5, 10, the 4 weeks before that. Since the bye week in week 9, the Jets have just been getting sacked by D's like nobody's business. So I'm rooting for the Saints this week. I think it's a solid play, but I don't know. What are you guys thinking on this one?
This was the one I was going to go after.
It's the one.
I had a random league where the Chiefs were available. I got them against Tennessee. I've seen a few people say the Bengals now that Miami is benching Tua. That one scares me, but man, like I get it. Like it's not like the Bengals have actually been a better fantasy defense than the Saints the last 4 weeks. If you look at the points, right? And so like they're not like I was telling Corey that's all fair. Like it's still an NFL defense, right? Like they're not bad players. They're just a collectively bad defense. And like that just happens, right? And just they have been playing so much better lately. And against a backup quarterback to a guy who also wasn't already good, like this could be a bloodbath, like again, here. And like, it's kind of like what we saw against the Jets last week, Jacksonville just destroyed the Jets, 3 turnovers against these guys. So that's kind of what I'm banking on with the Saints here. It's just Brady Cook being really, really bad again.
Yeah. And you had mentioned the Chiefs against Tennessee. Well, that was my pick last week, was 49ers against Tennessee. That did not go very well.
No.
That D fell limp. So Wasn't into that.
Oh man,
that was a bad beat by me on that.
I mean, hey, that was my pick too.
Yeah,
I get like Tennessee kind of does scare me, even with Kansas City, right?
They've been good.
I mean, they definitely have been a lot better the last half, even though they keep losing.
Yeah.
Well,
after
Pollard
after
is,
week 7,
looking like he's 23 again.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean the defenses they faced earlier in the year. You got the Broncos. They gave up double digits. The Rams, just under double digits. Colts, Texans, both 14, 15 points. Cardinals. Then the Raiders somehow got 16 points as a defense without even getting a touchdown. That's freaking amazing. Patriots destroyed them. But since then, they've only given up double-digit points to opposing defense once. And that was 3 weeks ago against the Jags. So they've been a lot better against opponents, even though they're still sitting at 4th most against. But Tennessee kind of scares me. Again, maybe recency bias because they burned me last week, but
the other one I'd shout out. Sorry, AJ. The other one I'd shout out is the Falcons. The Falcons have been getting after it, and as much as we love Jacoby Brissett, if you're going to throw the ball 45 times a game, like that is 4 to 5 opportunities to get sacks as they've been getting them in droves, and Brissett's still turning it over. So that one. They're going to give up points. I don't think that's a question. Like, I think they'll probably give up 30 points, but you could get 5 sacks and a pick or 2 out of the Falcons down there too.
Yeah. I mean, since week 9, Falcons have been absolutely destroying sacks. 6, 7, 5, 5, 2, 2, 5. I mean, that's like freaking Myles Garrett's season right there.
They lead the league in sacks, don't they? Or they're really close to it, I think, aren't they? They've been a sneaky good defense. They just I don't know, they don't get a lot of turnovers, so that doesn't help them. But the sacks help. The sacks are like a good floor for them. That's what helps.
They are second behind the Broncos in sacks.
Okay. Yeah, I knew they were really high up there. Yep. That makes sense. The Broncos.
Yeah.
Where are the Browns?
Yeah.
The Browns are third at 47.
Okay. Yeah, it's all Myles Garrett.
All Myles Garrett.
All Garrett. I mean,
the surprising one is the Chargers are tied. Well, I guess they're 5th. They're in 5th place. I do not think of the Chargers as a sack defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Now that said, I did almost pick the Chargers for this week. Dallas is not, they give up the 4th fewest points against defenses.
Sure.
And, the most that they had against was 2 weeks ago in the Lions game. And that's with the Raiders scoring 31 points, the Eagles 24, the Chiefs 31, and the Vikings 26. And their defense was still really solid. But yeah, I don't know. Dallas sucks. So
how many points? Last defensive question. How many points do you think the Cowboys have given up this year? I'll give you a hint. They've given up the most in the league.
Like
from teams playing them points?
Yes.
Oh, like NFL points?
Yes, NFL points.
I just have that page up. It's down. I will say.
I'm totally guessing.
Did you say 277?
I said 277. I don't know.
I could go with the old Price is Right. I'll take $1, Bob.
Probably higher than that, actually. Now that I think about it,
I think I'm gonna say like 362.
418.
Holy God!
Yeah,
even better.
That is a wild number.
That's almost our 2
I'm
guesses.
Way off. I'm way off. Yeah. 277 would be like top of the league. Man,
277. You'd be in the top 10. The best is, of course, our favorite team, the Texans, and that is 228.
Yeah, Broncos are up there. Yeah, no,
that's amazing and enjoyable all in the same time.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for the Week 16 top streamers from AJ.
Thank you.
Gonna jump in here to the Week 16 rankings review and let you guys grill me on these a little bit. Let's go. So
all right.
Running backs. I don't know who's doing which one this week. You guys fight over it.
I'll take higher.
But
since it's that way on the sheet. It'll make sense for you in the timestamps.
You like randomly just added the other timestamp like 2 weeks ago, and I was like,
I did,
and I just took the first column, and then I realized later it wasn't right. Anyway, running backs that I like a little bit more here. So a bunch of guys in the top 5: Christian McCaffrey, Gibbs, and Cook up 1. ETN I've got up +2. Chase Brown up 2. Harvey, Aaron Jones, and Rico Dowdell +1 inside of the RB2 range.
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious choice here for me is going with ETN. Against Denver, that's a fantastic defense, as we've been alluding to for a lot of the show already. So, and this is in Denver. I mean, it's a pretty bold take. What say you?
Yeah. It was not an easy choice to put ETN this high. The thing that gets me right is now Tutin's out, right? And so we get LaQuint Allen as the only other guy that's going to see the work here in the backfield. And I just think we're going to get like such a massive workload for ETN. The matchup is tough. Don't get me wrong, but get that kind of volume from a running back, and the Jacksonville offense is clicking right now, man. And it's not just last week. I know last week everybody's going, "Oh, you're just banking off last week," and no, that's not the case. It really is like this offense has been rolling for a few weeks now, and I don't really see it slowing down right now. Like Cohen's really gotten T-Law right, and I predicted it before the season started. It didn't start out as well as I hoped. They were winning games, but it wasn't pretty. And now it's just like, oh, this is kind of what I thought it was going to be. I mean, like even Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't look like inept anymore. Like he's getting involved. So maybe it was the Jacoby Myers trade. Like as much as I want to say like receiver trades don't matter mid-season, this one actually did. Now some of that had to do with the fact that Hunter got hurt and out for the season, so Myers got thrown into a much larger role than I really expected him to.
Yeah,
he's been awesome. He's been by far their best receiver, and really kind of proves that Vegas was really screwing up with him. The matchup's not great, but man, sometimes you just got to ignore the matchups and just go with like. He's on fire right now. This team's red hot, and he's going to get such a large workload. The problem is everybody else behind him, right, is splitting time with other very capable running backs, right? Outside of a couple of guys, like Jonathan Taylor isn't, but we saw last week, even with 25 touches, he couldn't do a whole lot with it, right? Like that's tough. The only guy I would consider like flip-flopping him with is Josh Jacobs, who's at 8. For me right now.
Okay.
Against Chicago, that would be kind of the only, it's probably about as far down as I would go. But, again, it's Wednesday night. Things can change. But right now, I really am leaning hard into this Jacksonville offense, even though it's Denver.
Yeah. And even with it being Denver, they're showing us the 5th fewest fantasy points against running backs. I mean, they've given up some big chunk games. I mean, Jonathan Taylor in week 2 at 165 yards against them. That's by far the most against them this season. Omarion Hampton had 70 and a touchdown, plus a bunch of catches and reception yards there. Tyrone Tracy managed double-digit points against them, 46 and a touchdown. That's why. But they've been better over the past couple weeks, but it's been against Jeremy McNichols. Chris Rodriguez was saved by the touchdown. But Jacobs had a great game against them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
it can be done.
It can be done. Yeah.
So, all right, move over here to running backs I like a little less. A couple top 10 guys here. Achane and Taylor down 3, down 2. Got Henry and Javonte Williams down 1, Quinshon Judkins down 1, and Omarion Hampton rounding out the RB2 range at down 2.
I mean, you're just wrong on Devon Achane. He's the top running back every week, forever and always. Jonathan Taylor.
You're not sitting him. That's the thing.
No. You're not sitting him. How about Omarion Hampton, though? You might sit him based off of where you have him down there at RB24. Pretty good matchup against Dallas, but Kamani Vidal still involved.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's Vidal's still seeing more snaps. Hampton did out-touch Vidal last week, but it hasn't gone far enough to where I'm like, Hampton's like a locked-in starter, and I want to start him in this matchup, and I probably would if I had him, but you do have to worry that just the fact that he only saw I think it was one more total touch than Vidal last week. He looked so much better on the field though. So maybe the Chargers realize, we got to get Hampton more touches here, but I don't know. I don't know really quite what the Chargers are doing here. The whole offense just looks sort of meh. We've talked about this a few times. Lad McConkey's disappeared. Quentin Johnston's hurt off and on and been just a ghost of himself from the beginning of the season. Keenan Allen had a decent game last week, but not great. Yeah. Gatson finally showed up a little bit last week again, finally, but just nothing seems to be working. And I really do equate it to the offensive line. Losing Ott was right. That's his name. Joe Alt, sorry, was a huge loss for them. You saw it early in the season. He missed a few games, and their offense sort of took a dip, and then he came back, and everybody kind of forgot about it, and now he's gone. And it's this is really bad. And then you had the Herbert hand injury, and I do think that that just still affects him, even though it's not his throwing hand. I think that really does just affect what he can do. But yeah, it's not a great situation there with any of these Chargers players. They've really all taken a huge drop in the rankings. So, all right, over here, 2 receivers, AJ. Michael Wilson up 1, Drake London up 66. That's fun. Rashee Rice, I still have in there, although he's dealing with a concussion, so probably can ignore that one. McLaurin, Reed up 1 each, Burden up 11. Troy Franklin up 2.
Well, yeah, Rice was the one I was initially looking at, and concussion aside, it's the mustache show at this point. So if Rice plays, I don't know.
Fire him up, dude. I think you just fire him up. I don't know how you can not play him. I think Gardner Minshew isn't, it's no Pat Mahomes, right? If Pat Mahomes was here, right?
Go for it. You go for it first.
I was going to say, if Pat Mahomes was the quarterback, right? Rashee Rice would probably in the top 8, top 6, right? You would be just to the moon with Rashee Rice, right? You drop him down a little bit. Gardner Minshew is a step down. Very serviceable backup quarterback in this league, probably one of the best backups in the entire NFL, right? And we've seen this for many, many years. I looked him up, I didn't realize he was still only 29. Just unreal. I did not realize that. I would have sworn he's 35 years old. That's how long it feels like he's been around. But yeah, you're gonna have to watch this one, dealing with the concussion. Got put in the protocol today or yesterday?
Today.
So that's not good.
No.
So I don't know how he would clear protocol at this point, this short of a time span, but seeing weirder things happen. It is Tennessee. They get obliterated by everybody in any facet of their defense. So I don't really care if Gardner Minshew's starting or not. I would be starting Rashee Rice if he plays.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think I put Minshew into the competent backup quarterback chart that we've talked about, him and Mariota, him and Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco when he stepped in. These guys they're step downs from the stars of Jayden Daniels or Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be completely devoid of offense like when the Vikings went to Max Brosmer, right? Like it ain't that. Like, we're not talking that type of bad here. So you're still playing Rashee Rice, I think, too.
Absolutely.
To be fair to Max Brosner, he is a rookie. Okay, undrafted.
Okay. So Corey, sorry, this is a much longer list. I realize, and I have no idea why this is a much longer list than the guys that I like more. That doesn't seem like it should add up, but it did. But let's just go with the guys that are not -1 to make it shorter here. So George Pickens -2, McMillan, Tetsuo McMillan -3. I got Waddle -10, Justin Jefferson -4. By the way, receiver 27. Ekbuka -3, Pittman at -2, Stephon Diggs -2, and then DJ Moore at -4.
Man, this sucks. I have so many of these guys on teams.
Me too.
Let's go. We talked about him a little bit before we started recording. Let's talk about George Pickens because I'm a little worried here. I'm playing him wherever I have him. Not that worried, but he starting to look a little bit like Pittsburgh George Pickens, and that is very talented, but also kind of a prima donna.
Yeah, so I haven't seen the prima donna stuff yet, right? But it is the I just don't want to play George Pickens, and we've seen that, right? It's the I'm here, I'm running my routes. Why am I not getting the ball? Well, it's because you're running it 60%, you asshole. Like, run, dude, or catch a ball that hits your hands. He's getting into that mode, and it's pissing me off because, clearly I have him on a fantasy team, so I'm really mad. Otherwise, the Cowboys, I don't care, right? Clearly, I don't care because it would be the Cowboys.
You being this angry about a Cowboys player is alarming.
I got not forced into drafting. I could have just ignored it, but it was like too good of a value to pass him up in the one league I got him in.
And he's been a big part of getting teams to the he has been a massive part of my teams making the playoffs. Like JSN and my JSN George Pickens teams, like both teams were good, but now JSN still good. I'm not worried about him, but like George Pickens, it's been not too good here down the stretch. So
yeah. So it's a little bit of he hasn't been performing, right? The matchup's not good either.
No.
Dak hasn't been that great either. Like Dak's been still throwing for like 300 yards almost every game, but not getting a lot of touchdowns the last couple. I don't know if that really gets fixed against the Chargers defense that is just top notch. So, I wanted to put him below. Like if you're watching, right, you see Pickens at 14, Metcalf at 15, McMillan at 18. I kind of wanted to put Pickens below Metcalf, who was terrible last week, but awesome the week before. McMillan, but has been also super terrible. You could have convinced me to honestly drop all of that 3 combo below like Devonta Smith. And it wouldn't
also
shock
erratic.
Me
It was also extremely erratic. Like
it's
just
erratic,
all these
but
guys
the
the
matchup is so good for Devonta Smith this week. That's the thing that gets me. But this could also just be like a Saquon goes for 180 week, and then it doesn't matter for the passing game, which happened 2 weeks ago. So
yeah.
Fun times in Philly. We have no idea who's going to be good from week to week. All right. Over to the tight ends. Speaking of Philly, back on the Gatto train here. +2 at number 3 overall right now. Fannin +1, Schultz +1, Tyler Warren +1. Although at tight end 10, I thought that would have been low, but apparently not. Kincaid +1, Theo Johnson +2, and I got Dawson Knox all the way up +12.
Yeah, I mean Dawson Knox was borderline my tight end streamer this week. He's been so solid the past 2 weeks, better than Kincaid. It just seems like they're
terrible though.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it just seems like they're slowly working him in. I mean, the one I want to look at here though is Tyler Warren. I mean, he's up 1, but most of these guys are. So, I mean, what do you like for him going up against this San Fran defense?
So the one thing I'll say about San Fran, right, is like, though seems like a small weakness for their defense is the tight end position, right? Like even last week against Tennessee, right? It was 8 receptions for, if I can do quick math, 82 yards and a touchdown between Helm and Okonkwo. The week before that, Fanning went 3 for 43 and a touchdown. The week before that, McBride smoked them. Parkinson scored a touchdown. Theo Johnson scored a touchdown. Like, it's even Davis Allen in week 10 scored a touchdown against them. Same week as Parkinson, right? San Fran could be had in the tight end position. I thought 10 would have been low. I was kind of shocked myself to see that I was +1 on these guys, or on him, sorry. I don't like it, man. Like, again, if this were Daniel Jones from weeks 1 through 6, Warren in this matchup would probably be a top 3 or 4 guy. You bring in the fact that this offense has been sort of trending down even before the Jones injury, and now you're adding in Old Man Rivers. It's not great. Like he saw 6 targets last week, and everyone's like, oh, but he saw 6. Who cares, man? Like, he caught 3 for 13 yards or whatever crap that was. Like, it was bad, man. Really bad. Like, Rivers just checked down. It wasn't great. All short passes. When he had to throw it deep into the middle of the field, into a tight spot, was that one interception he had at the very end of the game when they had to, like, I don't know, 13 seconds or whatever. He had to go down the middle of the field. That's all they gave him. And that ball was like in slow motion. It was bad, man. So it was like, as soon as you threw it, I went, well, that's getting picked. And then boom, it did. And so there's just not a lot of upside with Warren is the problem. You're probably going to start him over a lot of these guys. But if you want to go for a little bit more upside with Kincaid or Theo Johnson, or hell, go super upside with Dawson Knox, just be careful. The Dawson Knox floor is 0. Literally 0. That's the problem with Dawson Knox. But you do got to love the usage that Knox has had, even with Kincaid healthy the last couple of weeks. That's the thing that kind of pushes me to bump him up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely can see it. I see you're in line with ECR, I guess, with Parkinson.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know
so everybody likes him. So guys that I like a little less here, I'm dropping Kyle Pitts a little bit. Darren Waller, Gadsden, I dropped Ferguson, Henry, and Andrews.
I mean, it's got to be Kyle Pitts, right? Coming off the
let's go with one of the cover boys, right?
That's that too. But like the second best fantasy. Who do you think had the? I was looking this up when he did it. Who's the only player who had a higher scoring PPR game this year than Kyle Pitts last week?
Oh, this year?
This year, there's been one other player who had a higher scoring game than
player?
Him. It's also a tight end. It's also a tight end.
Oh.
Remember when Brock Bowers came back from his injury and had that 45?
Well, was it Bowers? I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I was going to say it was either Bowers or McBride, or randomly like Goddard had like a bunch of big blow up games.
I think he never, at least in PPR, when I was doing it, it looked like Brock Bowers had him as the only.
Yeah, that was that crazy Jacksonville game that went to like overtime.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember thinking, oh yeah, AJ, because you beat me with Bowers.
Yeah, that was right. That was the week. Good pull,
okay.
Corey.
I'm still in the semis in the league. Where are you at?
Well, I got Trevor
Lawrence.
Look,
no, Trevor
I'm gonna win that consolation bracket. I'm gonna get first pick of the draft again. So
again, how'd that work out for you?
I don't know if I had first pick last year. I don't remember. But
all right, so Kyle Pitts. I am under the impression that Drake London is back, and I talked about this on the podcast I was on just last night. Kyle Pitts, the last 4 weeks without Drake London, has like 25, 25, 27, 20, 33% target share. And it has bumped, by the way, that has bumped his overall season average to over 20%. The week before Drake London got hurt, he had 11% target share. So do I think he drops to an 11% target share after, the week he had and with Kirk Cousins there? No, I do think it probably stays around 18, 19, 20%, but that's a huge drop. So if anybody's expecting him to be like top 3, top 4 again, the usage doesn't point in that direction, right? Now, could he score 2 touchdowns against an Arizona team that's bad? Sure. But Drake London's presence makes a huge difference for him, which is one reason why, he was dropped in certain leagues right before the playoffs started, a few weeks before the playoffs started, and people weren't super excited to pick him up. Oh, wait, that's me. And, it just things change quickly, but
as someone with a lot of Kyle Pitts and no Drake London, I would like to tell Drake London just rest that knee.
Of course.
Let's take a couple weeks off.
Come on, man.
A couple more weeks, then you can come back.
Now that my best ball teams that had Drake London are gone, you can have that one. I don't care. I have no Drake London anywhere else, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's the unfortunate part, though. Is it's like Drake London is going to take a large portion of that workload, and there's just, there was nobody else there to take the targets from Pitts. I mean, honestly, it was like David Sills. Like, who cares? Like, he was the second target leader there. It wasn't Mooney. They just had nobody, man. So that's why I'm down on Pitts. But all right, quickly here, let's catch up. So we got our flex stuff here. Tony Pollard +1, Corum +18. I got Chris Rodriguez +84 because I think I have been playing and a lot of people don't. Worthy +3, Estimate +24. Again, I don't think people have caught on to the Neal news. When I did this, Jay Judy +1, Mooney +3, Dontavia Wicks +20, and Pacheco +10.
I mean, I'm assuming the Wicks is because of
Watson. I didn't realize that Watson is potentially playing. I really just don't expect that.
Yeah, I would kind of lean Worthy on this one. I know it's one of the smaller numbers, but it's kind of more the realistic, non-caught up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we already talked about Rice. And with Minshew, you still think Worthy and Rice, there's going to be enough to go around for both of them?
Yeah, dude. I just think that, Minshew is seen it, man. Like, you guys won a freaking Super Bowl with this guy, man. Like, what are you worried about? This guy's good. Like, he's a good enough quarterback. He's going to get the ball into the hands of his playmakers. Worthy is one of them. Tennessee is terrible. Pacheco, I've got down there too, right? +10. He took back over the lead role, which wasn't by a lot, right? Like, that's what Hunt and him have done. But between the two of them, he took back over that lead back role. So I do believe that Kansas City could still have a good enough offense with Minshew there. Now, look, these guys all took a drop for me from where they probably normally would be, but everybody else just went even further. That's all this is telling you. So, all right, guys, I like a little less. Warren, Jalen Warren, Michael Carter, Kenneth Walker, Kenneth Gainwell, Jordan Addison, Kyle Monangai, Khalil Shakir, Keenan Allen, Adonai Mitchell, Romeo Dobbs, Chuba Hubbard, Jaden Higgins, Tyler Warren, David Montgomery, Rashid Shaheed, and Jalen Coker. I meant to take Warren out of there. Sorry. You should take all the tight ends out.
That's okay. Let's see here. We've talked about a lot of these guys. Let's do Monangai.
You want to do Shakir?
No, never. Never Khalil Shakir. Not a chance.
Never.
Monangai, a couple weeks ago against the Packers, I want to say he had a decent game, right? There was 57 yards that week and caught a pass. So, I don't know. It seems like maybe he's just being phased back out of the offense. Is that why you're a little back down on him?
I don't know if he's being phased back out, but like he still is the RB2, right? And Swift does get the passing down work. So like you do have to lean on it's a little bit of like the P Ryan role in Cincy, but Monaghan is better, right? And so you like Monaghan way better than P. Ryan, but there's no passing down work from Monaghan. And so you do have to drop him a little bit. I think this is going to be a close game, not a very high scoring game, honestly. And so you just have to drop all of these guys just slightly, and Monaghan is going to probably take one of the biggest hits.
Cool.
So,
yeah. And I will have to say, now that we're into QBs, Gardner Minshew did not win a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He was on the Super Bowl team in 2023, I guess, or sorry, 22, when we lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. But he was there. He was there.
Bad. I thought
that's okay. He does not have a Super Bowl ring.
Oh, my bad. Anyway,
NFC Championship ring, but that's about it.
All right, so quarterbacks here: Joe Burrow +1, Dak +1, Jacoby Brissett +1, Jordan Love +2, Bo Nix +2. We got T-Law +5 and Shuck +1. I think we're going to talk about the Jacksonville love I have this week, so maybe we can pass on that one.
Obviously. I mean, let's stick with the Green Bay theme here and go with Jordan Love at Chicago.
Yeah, I do think this is going to be a little bit of a lower scoring game. You know, it's now cold Chicago. You know, this is a NFC North cold game, right? So scoring gets suppressed a little bit. It doesn't take away from the fact that Chicago's not a great defensive team. And Josh Jacobs is, still banged up. We actually don't even know if he's going to play this week, so that would change things a lot. But I do think they want to, they want to reduce the workload from Josh Jacobs just a little bit. Emmanuel Wilson is fine, has shown a lot of good things when given the chance. But if they're going to lean on anybody, it's going to be Jordan Love. And, they got to go win this division. And they're going to, I think they would lean on Jordan Love more than anybody to go do it.
Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks before, weeks 13, 14, again, against the division opponents at Detroit and at home against Chicago, he had really good games. 234 yards in both of them, surprisingly.
Yeah. The passing yardage isn't high for him most weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's reminiscent of like Aaron Rodgers right before he left, man. It's like he throws for 200 and change and like low change, but like 3 touchdowns. Just super efficient. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So even without Christian Watson, I think Love can do that again. So quarterbacks I like a little less. Drake May, Purdy, Jackson, Lamar, -1. CJ Stroud, -2. I got Herbert -5, even though it's a great Dallas defense to match up here against. Caleb Williams, -1. Baker Mayfield, -1. And JJ McCarthy, -1.
Let's do Stroud because you have him outside of startable range there against an atrocious Vegas team, as AJ already pointed out for us. I'm a little surprised to see him that low, or is it just... Especially because we don't even know who's going to be the running back.
Yeah, dude. I think one of the problems with Vegas, right, is that like, sure they give up, they give up a lot of points and like their defense isn't good. The problem is, right, is they get behind so quickly, and sometimes it's like pick sixes and crap like that, and so like the offense doesn't have to do a lot, and they just start running the ball. And Houston has shown that they can absolutely run this ball. Even with practice squad guys. So I'm just not really sure that the volume is going to be there for Stroud this week. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but it's Vegas. And, you just have to start him against Vegas. I mean, we would say that about a lot of players, right? But Bo Nix didn't do a lot, right? Justin Herbert didn't do a lot against them. Bo Nix didn't do a lot against them again the second time. Like, it's just they get beat a lot of other ways, and it doesn't seem like a ton of quarterbacks just absolutely destroy them unless it's super early and then they just stop passing. So Stroud would have to do it like within the first 2 quarters, and then and then he'd be done. So don't love those odds, unfortunately. So I will pass on Stroud. For some other guys.
Mahomes unshockingly was the best quarterback against the Raiders this year.
Yeah,
and he still only went 286. They have yet to give up a 300-yard, but he had 3 touchdowns. That's what did it. I mean, Hurts even last week. Again, it was all touchdowns. So,
well, actually, no, you're right. Mahomes was.
Yeah, Hurts was 3 touchdowns.
How the hell did he beat out Dak?
Dak, he did not.
268.
Dak had 4 touchdowns. He didn't beat Dak.
Oh, you know what? It's the random 28 rushing yards for Mahomes that did it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was. That's absolutely what it was. I was like, how did Dak?
I thought you were talking about Hurts, but yeah.
No, because Dak had an extra touchdown, but it's those extra 28 rushing yards that did it.
-4 for Dak. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, the -4 was
that's
negligible, but yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, again, the Vegas, very easy defense. I think Houston will destroy him, but that usually just means that Stroud doesn't have to do much. So,
yeah.
All right, that's it for the rankings recap here. Let's finish things off with Corey's news and injury recap or impact. Sorry, I don't know why I said recap. Start off here with Patrick Mahomes and his torn ACL, Corey.
I mean, we already talked about this a couple times. Like, Minshew's going to step in and finish out the season. Their offense will still run decently. It's not the same level, but it'll run good enough that you can still use Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, and if you're desperate, Xavier Worthy. And then injury this late like this, ACL, it could very easily bleed into next season. Like, if you told me that Patrick Mahomes misses the first 6 or 7 games of next year, I wouldn't be overly surprised. So just keep that in mind, even in your dynasty leagues. Not that if someone wants to sell you a little low on Patrick Mahomes, I think he'll be fine in the long haul. But if someone's a little worried about it, I'd be taking Patrick Mahomes, I suppose.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like this is, just not necessarily just the ACL. If it's more than that too, I know he's already had the surgery, but it's possible this could be something that really derails the Patrick Mahomes that we know. But yet to be determined, obviously. So next up, we've got Bam Knight, who we already kind of touched on here with the Michael Carter pick, dealing with this ankle injury. He's out for the season now.
Yep, kind of the same thing again. We talked about it already. Michael Carter and Joe mentioned Mario DiMarcado are the 2 running backs to fill in, just because we saw Michael Carter be so much more involved in the offense last week against Houston. That's why AJ talked about Michael Carter as being his stream pick, is because he's already been more involved. But I think it was 53 snaps to 7 last week. Michael Carter outsnapped Amari DiMarcado. It will be closer this week for sure. I would still prefer to play Michael Carter if I had to pick one, but don't be surprised if DiMarcado isn't much more involved.
All right, and then over here to Chicago, Odunze talked about the foot injury already a little bit, but Luther Burden also dealing with the ankle injury. We're still not totally sure if he's going to be able to go.
Yeah, so we didn't really talk a lot about the Bears yet. So Odunze, me and Joe talked about this at the waiver wire show. Technically was active last week, but re-injured his foot in pregame warmups. So if you didn't get him out of your lineup, sucks. Nothing you can do about that. You thought he's going to play. And this week, all options are on the table. I'm expecting him not to play. It sounds like they're just going to take it slow with him and get ready for the playoffs. And Luther Burden, I hope he plays. As a fantasy manager, I hope he plays. As a Packers fan, I kind of hope he doesn't play. But I think that one just seems legitimately 50-50. The good news on that is they play Saturday night, so you should have plenty of options. If he's out in advance, correct, you'll know in time. Like, this isn't the Achane thing of last week where you have to try to play around Monday night. This is in advance. So if Burden's in, I think he's a viable wide receiver 3. And if he's out, then I guess it pushes DJ Moore up just because he's the last one standing, and Colston Loveland up. And that's, I don't even know who their other next receiver would be. I guess Olamide Zacchaeus. I don't really want to play that role. So DJ Moore, Luther Burden, and go from there.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck is a good way to say it.
All right.
Yeah, seriously.
Next up.
All right, so next up we got Woody Marks here. Again, we kind of touched on this with the Jordan commentary with the streamers.
Yep. Yeah, so we did. Jawar Jordan stepped in admirably. I mean, greatly. This is his second ever active day, first game ever. Like, that's how little prep time he had. He has since been promoted to the active roster. So Woody Marks, like Joe mentioned, it's possible that he plays this week. They've said that they think that he could have come back, but he also didn't practice today. Chubb didn't practice today either. He's coming back from his rib injury. It's possible we see him this week too. So Jawar Jordan could be literally nothing. He could also be a starting running back. Just, again, make sure that I would make sure he's not available on my waiver wire. I did that in a few spots where I needed a running back. And we'll know for sure. If Woody Marks makes a practice or two later this week, I expect him to play. And if I was to handicap that one, it'd be like 70%. I think Woody Marks will play right now.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. I already kind of said that. That's why I've got him ranked a little bit higher. But let's jump over here to another situation that involves running back being out. And, of course, we already talked about this just a little bit. New Orleans missing a couple of dudes this week.
Yeah, so you mentioned Devin Neal. That's if you want to play it, it's Audric Estime or Evan Hall. I guess I would prioritize Audric Estime, but I'd have to be really desperate. Like, I'd rather play, if Woody Marks is out, I'd rather play Jawar Jordan, right? Like that, I think, just because I think their offense is so much better. But Devon Vele, he was coming on. He was having another good week. Like, the targets are there for him.
He was awesome.
But then he came down awkwardly on his shoulder. I haven't seen if they ever said, like, did he break anything? I've not seen that, just that it's a shoulder injury. And it just makes, I don't know if there's a pass catcher. There's certainly not a receiver I want to play on the Saints right now. Even though we're talking about how good Shuck has been, it's a lot of what he's passing the ball, or he's running the ball well, for one. He's taken the 40 yards a week as a running threat, which is helping it. And while he's getting the ball out, it's just so spread around that I don't think, if Vele is not there, I don't think there's anybody I want to trust. Like, has Juwan Johnson been doing enough?
I was going to say, I think it gives Juwan Johnson a little bit of a boost now. Honestly, I think I did.
And Olave, right? Like Chris Olave's you're going to use, but
Olave is going to get just a monster number of targets at this point.
Of course, he's not available. I'm just talking about like targets you might be able to add, but it's Olave and Juwan Johnson, and that's really it. Like, I don't want to play anybody else.
Yep, absolutely. All right, and we already talked about this one a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, Davante.
Anything else should I add here?
Not really.
I think he's officially been listed as doubtful. He's not going to play. Like, Colby Parkinson, like you guys said, is the guy to go with if you want to try to find a receiver. Joe and I both talked about Tutu Atwell, but I would, if it's a flex option, I think I'd rather flex Colby Parkinson than Tutu Atwell, like, just because I think he's much more likely to catch a touchdown.
Yeah, I would too. Over here to Miami, did talk about this one a little bit, but give a little bit more thoughts here on Tua being benched, and now we got Quinn Ewers being the guy here.
So Tua Tagovailoa looked absolutely miserable. Like, it was.
By the way,
it was awful.
Did you see the stat during the game? I did not know this, and this was, I think, before he threw even more interceptions in the game. All 15 of his interceptions were against zone defense this year. Like,
not see that.
Why would anybody not run anything but zone defense against this team at this point? Like, oh my god, just atrocious.
I believe he's at 23 turnovers this season now between interceptions and fumbles. Like, that's
bad, man.
That's just miserable. And I get benching him. I also get, like, he's going to be around next year somewhere. He's getting, I think, $54 million next season to play football. Someone's going to play him. I don't know if it'll be Miami. I don't know if they'll eat half that contract and send him to Pittsburgh or something, but he'll be around, right? Like, and so for dynasty leagues, if you had Tua, I guess I'd hold him. I would still hold him if I could help it. As far as Quinn Ewers is concerned, it can't be worse. I mean, he's not going to be much worse, I don't think. Tua's been terrible
We've
for
said
the
that
better
before.
part of the month. I know. And Max Brosmer showed up. I'm aware. And the matchup, like Cincinnati, you said, it's if you want to take a chance on Cincinnati's defense, fine. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I just think I'm hopeful that Quinn Ewers will be at least not turning the ball over. What I'm hopeful for is they'll just give the ball to Devon Achane 25 times and I'll win a bunch of fantasy matchups because that would be lovely for me.
Yeah.
And hopefully figure out a way to get Jaylen Waddle the ball because he had, I think, 2 catches last week. That was not good. But look, it's a 3-man offense is all it is, right? You want Achane, you want Waddle, you want Waller. That's it.
Yep. Pretty much. Until you get to the 2-yard line, then you want anybody
Shut
else
up.
but Achane.
Not that idiot. Khalil Shakir and Ali Gordon, the banes of my existence.
I only say that to piss you off, and it worked. Boom! It just worked. All right, AJ.
Great success.
Yeah.
All right, so last one here. We just got a bunch of names to rip through. So Daniel's officially out for season. Ricky Pearsall's dealing with a PCL injury. Tootin's got finger surgery and to miss a few weeks. We already kind of touched on him. Tootin is?
Huh?
He said he can play in the playoffs, right?
He's done for the regular season.
Yes, for the fantasy regular season. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, fantasy regular season. Watson, we already touched on dealing with the chest injury, and Rice, we already touched on with the concussion protocol.
So I guess the one then to talk about would be Ricky Pearsall, who finally had a good week. I was like, oh, I'm ready to play him. He's going to be back in one of my lineups here. We had a great matchup against Indiana, and suddenly the knee and the ankle, which is what he missed, was it 7-8 weeks with or whatever, even though they'd never put him on the injured reserve, is back to being a thing. And so Shanahan, I believe the word was all right, but he wouldn't rule him out.
Nah.
I am not going to play him. And the leagues where I have him, I have not good at matchups, but I just know what's going to happen is either he's going to be active and he's going to play like 10 snaps. And I'm just going to get frustrated again with him because I've been frustrated all year with Ricky Pearsall.
Or he just gets nothing because he's not healthy. And even if he's out there and trying to run all his routes, he's just not effective. And so, I don't want anything to do with Pearsall. It sucks because I'm starting Purdy in a lot of places. And so having Pearsall and Jennings and Kittle and CMC just really boost Purdy's, effectiveness, but it's not great. So, all right. I didn't, honestly, I forgot to come prepared with some random pop trivia from the 80s, 90s, just for Corey. Merry Christmas, Corey. I forgot to razz you on the last show.
It's your early gift.
Early gift.
But that's all I got. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. If you're still around, make sure you jump over to Fantasy Six Pack. The rankings are still there. We got DFS and betting stuff. Dave Eddy again. Also now just destroying showdowns, by the way, taking the last 2 showdown slates down and whatever he's played. I think a whopping $2,400 total between the 2 of those things. Pretty damn good. So
that's an okay day.
He's done okay. And so we got all that projections, and then all of our baseball stuff is about to start rolling out here very, very soon. So jump over there, do that. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, leave those comments. We love to hear from you. And without further ado, I think we will just close it out. See y'all next week.